Oh, I am so glad that you found your way back to the Yoga and Black podcast. But if you're new to the show, welcome. The show is all about sharing the stories of Black yoga and holistic wellness providers all around the world. And the goal is to bring more community awareness to the Black folks that not only practice yoga, but teach it too, to show our community that we too participate in these practices to help us heal and lead fuller lives. So, without me talking anymore, please, please, I hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for listening. Hello, folks. This is Tierney from the editing room, and I just wanted to give you a heads up that there is a little bit of an audio issue on this one. I was trying my best to get it as best as I could, but just couldn't quite get it, so I do apologize, but I still hope you enjoy the show. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in on another episode of Yoga and Black Podcast. My name is Tierney, your host here, and I am joined this week with Shanyce Matthews, and I am so excited to get to know you because we've been in the DMs with each other for a little minute, and I already had some fun conversations, so I am excited to be able to do this face-to-face more. So Shanyce, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where you from? How you been?
Let's see. I am originally from Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised. I currently live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Uh, Came up here for college
Okay.
in faith. My mom likes to tell the story that I said when I was 13, when I moved out, I ain't never coming back home. And because I ain't been back, I go for business. I have not lived in permanently since 2018. Let's see. I am a licensed professional counselor, so I'm a therapist by day,
Nice.
a 200-hour certified yoga teacher by night, I guess, or when I do teach. What is that in? I think that's it. Amen.
I like that. I didn't know you were a therapist. That's so cool.
Yeah,
So, do you get opportunities to combine the two, or is that what your business is?
I do combine the two in my sessions. Uh, there's a couple people I combine the two with, and it's
Yeah.
cool. I like the rewards I've been seeing from it.
Nice. That's so dope because I've had, like, in the past, I've had therapists that recommended that I do yoga, and I didn't take them seriously until one of them was like, if enough people have told you to do it, you should try. I'm like, so those two seem to just go hand in hand, it seems. Like,
They they most definitely do, and I tell people to do them, but then you have those people that I ain't doing this, and I'm not doing nothing outside of these four walls. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do it right here, right now.
it's like, well, lucky you, I am an instructor as well.
I can teach you all the meditation, the breathing techniques, the body movement. Let's do it. Bring
I
it
love
straight.
that. Yes, I love that. Yes, bring it straight to them. So then let me ask, what got you started in yoga in general?
My own mental health. Uh, Nothing to do during COVID. Even though I was an essential worker, I still had to go to work. I worked at an inpatient psych unit, so I was still at work
Oh,
day
yeah,
in,
yeah.
day in, day out. I was at work with the kids. Um, and so I didn't realize that I had actually knew yoga before I actually was like doing the YouTube videos of going through the whole flows and stuff because I was a cheerleader growing up.
Yeah.
So yoga, headstands, handstands up against the bleachers, doing the splits in the headstands and the handstands,
Yes.
using the bleachers to stretch my legs out and do the split.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing yoga and didn't know I was doing yoga until I had listened to like one of the previous episodes and realized that I was doing yoga before I was doing yoga.
Similar experience over here. Um, I always enjoyed stretching and tumbling and stuff. Was a very active kid. And once I actually took a yoga class seriously, because I had some experience with it in high school on DVDs, but taking a class, it was a different experience. Well, long story short, I've had many instances with yoga until there was one that turned the light on. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, that's where all this is was leading me to. That's what all this is connected. Oh, I've been doing this and I just didn't realize it.
That's how it be. I it was really I never like did an actual in person class. I've never done a class.
Mhm.
I've always done like videos here and there. My certification training was all online, self paced. Watch videos, do assignments. That was my program.
Yeah.
So I've never been to like an in person class. I've done like Cincinnati Yoga Day. I went to that for a little bit. But
Hmm.
by then I was already certified.
Right.
It was always just like on my yoga mat or on the floor and with my phone playing on YouTube or the TV playing on YouTube or now Netflix because Netflix has yoga videos.
They do?
And yes,
I feel
30 to
behind.
30 minute yoga videos
Huh. I'm
and
gonna have to look this
meditation.
up. Okay, yep. I need to be doing some searching because I did not know that.
I don't even know how I discovered it, but it's through Nike.
Huh. You learn something new every day. I'm always learning something on these recordings. Always. I have no idea that's a thing. Oh
I
my gosh. That's gonna make my life so much easier.
I used to get up. They got like a 5 minute morning flow yoga when I
That's all I need. Yes, because I don't know. I've been practicing for a while now, and I've gotten to a point where I don't necessarily feel like I'm called into, those hour-long sessions of, putting together some type of sequence and stuff. I prefer just short moments where I can either meditate for a little bit or do a little bit of asana. I don't like to do too much anymore. It's just, I don't know. I don't guess with old age, I'm just my body's just like, nah. You did all the other stuff. You know that there's more to it than that now. Go ahead and dibble dabble in those things and sit down.
yes my oh my gosh I meditate like 5 to 10 minutes before I even move into asana, and I haven't wrote an actual sequence since I had to write the sequences for my assignment for my
Hmm.
program. Now I just whenever I feel like it, I just flow through whatever I flow through, and whatever pops in my mind is what's gonna happen.
Right. It's like,
Let my body be the guidance. What do I need today?
yes, exactly. My personal practice is definitely so much more like that. My classes, well, let's be real. I haven't taught just a strictly yoga class in since February. Yeah, it's been a little minute. And I don't even know. I'm out of practice. I'm so out of practice. I'm like, I might lean on some sequences that I've written before, but I like to freestyle. That's more my jam is checking to see what the energy of the classroom is. Because if folks ain't feeling like doing a bunch of energetic stuff, we're not doing energetic stuff. If folks feel like doing the energetic stuff, then I'll sprinkle some in there. But I probably don't want to do the energetic stuff.
See,
So I gotta honor myself too.
I don't like the energetic. I need to be able to catch my breath,
Yes.
able to breathe. So I teach predominantly hatha. We
I
slow
love
moving.
hatha.
We slow. We holding. Uh,
Yes. Enjoy the pose.
enjoy it. Notice what
Yes.
comes up. Like that's why. Like, and I treat well, I'm certified in trauma yoga as well. So that's mainly what I use in my sessions. And we hold poses, and
Hmm.
we're going to hold them, and we're going to learn about them, and we're going to notice what emotions, what thoughts, what sensations, what is coming up, because a lot of people are disconnected from their body.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching
Oh.
mind body gotta teach you the mind body connection.
Oh, indeed. I love that.
And I take that back. I actually wrote 7 sequences when I made my journal,
Hmm.
because I'm also an author. I don't know how I forget that.
Well, damn. What don't you do?
Sit down, sit still,
Relatable. Relatable.
pause, nothing.
Look, has to force it because otherwise it's just constantly go, go, go. Hmm.
Yeah, so I made a journal for balancing your chakras. So it has prompts, foods to eat, crystals, stones, essential oils, meditation, positive affirmations, yoga sequence with reflection, um, all about the chakras is broken up into 7 sections. Um, and it combines my other passion, which is psychology. So it combines like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and everything lines up,
Hmm.
everything bounces off of each other. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna add, a yoga sequence to this, a sequence that is used to balance your chakras for each one.
Yeah.
So that's the last time I wrote a sequence.
It takes a lot.
It does.
It takes a lot of thought and intention and energy.
Yes. Because what flows
Yeah,
together and what doesn't flow together? What can be transitioned?
exactly. What variations can there be given so that you are making it accessible and all that stuff? It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Whew.
And I need the
Yeah.
variations for myself because,
Look, I'm teaching from a place of this. I'm giving this modification because likely I needed it today, but I know somebody else gonna need it too. So we're gonna try all the different modifications, and I will always opt for the one that gives my body the ease. And usually that's the one that's not necessarily giving anybody else ease, but it's working for me. So
right.
I'm trying to model that for them, like embrace and accept what's going on in your body at this moment.
I am always tight. I am not your flexible, do the splits, headstand yoga teacher. No, I'm not there. Not yet.
Look, and I enjoy being upside down, but I don't teach that way. And I think I wonder if that's been a point of contention that no one has actually told me before.
I can't even get upside down. So,
Like you do all the upside down stuff, but how come we don't do it in class? I'm like, cause I want to make sure that you're first of all ready, but second of all in the space to be able to do that today. And most of y'all come in here frazzled. I'm not putting you upside down. If you are frazzled, that is a surefire way to injury. I've been there. And I'm not trying to do that to other people.
I think I was trying to practice my handstand once against the wall and pulled a hamstring. I was like, yeah, no, pause.
Doing the splits was when I pulled mine. Had no business. Had no business. And still did it. And then was out for what, 2 months? Why is the hamstring injury the worst?
It is. And it's like nothing I do untightens the hamstring.
At all. At all. Like you can isolate the hips, you can reach as far as you can, whatever, like massage, all that. I'm like, is it because of the way I walk? Like, what am I doing?
I sit
Oh
too
my
much.
goodness.
I'm,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know. I try not to. I've recently started working from home, which is why I haven't been teaching much. And I've made it a point to get one of the desks that stands up because I know myself and I will choose to sit if I If
Mhm.
that's the only option I have, I'm like, then I'm sitting. That's it. But if I have the option to stand, I will be like, oh yeah, I should do that.
I think the last person that I started the yoga with in session, I think while they was like in a meditative state, I was somewhere doing uh yogi squats to open up my hips and rocking back and forth. I didn't sit during it because I was like, I'm just this tight.
Oh yeah. I love a good posture break during your work periods. Like it just makes the day right. It's needed within the day, which is why I wish so many more corporations would bring yoga into the workplace. And not even just like on your lunch break, you can go to a yoga class. Like teach people how to do these things while they're at their desks so that way it can benefit them while they're working because y'all be stressing people out and they need these techniques to know how and when to implement them instead of thinking that it's only for when you're on a mat.
Right. Because I would
Mm-hmm.
be on the mat. I'd be in the ground.
Yep. Like all of my mats are currently rolled up and have not been touched in a while. So much of what I do is just seated in meditation. And sometimes just I don't even care. I like the floor.
The floor be comfortable sometimes.
Look, I love the like just a hardwood floor. Oh, my jam, my jam. Let me get back on track because I was gonna ask you a question. So, because you were in you're a unique person that I have not had the chance to talk to, where you haven't taken a class in the typical way that people think of when they think of yoga in the States. So, my question to you would be: is if and when you choose to go into a space to take a class, what would be your ideal space?
Oh, small and intimate.
Mm,
I
I
need to feel safe.
agree. Yes, I agree with that 100%.
And if it's too much going on, too many people, too many sounds, I'm gonna be hyper. I'm very hyper vigilant. I know this about myself. The trauma response. So if it's too much going on and I'm trying to do yoga, I'm not gonna be in it,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I'm going into a meditative state. I can't
Yeah.
meditate outside.
Oh yeah. I like a good outdoor class, but I need less stimulation
Hmm.
because outside has a lot going on.
It be the bugs, the stuff,
the,
the people walking by behind me,
the dog down the street barking.
and people walk. I cannot lay there eyes closed because I prefer to meditate with my eyes closed. So I cannot lay there eyes closed if I know people are going to be walking past me
Mm-hmm.
because nope, that's not safe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a challenge to find a place to call your yoga home if that's something that you're seeking, like going to a studio and taking class with other people. But there is nothing wrong with choosing to do your own practice at home. It's
Nothing.
such a personal experience that honestly, it's ideal to do it alone at home as often as you can because that's your well should be. Your home should be your
You
space
say
of safety, yes. And where you recharge and where you prepare yourself for the stuff that's going on outside. And that's one of the things that yoga does for you is frees you from the suffering from the outside so that you can be inside at peace. And home can be that representation of everything that you're working on with your yoga practice. I love that you've cultivated this very intimate space for yourself to be able to practice and do what you need to do for you in your own time, in your own space. That's awesome. And that's what this is all about, being able to see so many different experiences that we all have with this same practice. Because it's not just about taking a class all the time.
It's not. And sometimes if I'm at work and I got a big break, I will do an hour, 30-minute flow in the middle of my office.
Yep.
Just because my office is also my safe space. So I feel very safe in my office. I close and or crack my door and just put my AirPods in, pull up a video, and go.
Ideal, like extremely ideal. I used to do that same thing when I worked in an office. We had stand-up desks there too, but oftentimes I would lift it so that I could do yoga under it. And it looked real stupid because, of course, it's like a layout where all of us have connected desks, like shortened cubicle style. So we could all see each other. So I would intentionally raise my desk so that no one could see me under my pigeon toes and shit.
That's something I would do.
It was definitely, and of course, I was in a corner, so not too many people saw me, but those that worked in my department and in my pod, they're always like, oh, she disappeared. She's probably under there stretching. Like, yeah. And meditating because I needed to get away from y'all for a second. And I'll create whatever space I need to recollect what's going on inside because y'all ain't about to have me outside myself for a paycheck.
No, it ain't.
Because that's all that is for me right now. This is only a paycheck right now. So remind me of the name of your yoga business right now.
Heal Yogi Yoga.
Thank you. Tell me about where that all initiated from. What was the catalyst that was like, I need to do this and this is what it is?
I think I had another name originally, and I was like bouncing ideas off my friend, and I was like, wait, I'm all about healing. I'm in my healing era, so heal has to be part of it because yoga is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yogi, well, yogi, duh. People who practice yoga are yogis or yoginis,
Mm-hmm.
like and then yoga. So I was like, there it is. We're gonna do it. I made a semi decent logo on Canva and ran with it.
That's where it all starts. Um, just have the idea and implement the things that you have in front of you. So then my next question is, where do you see it going?
Good question. I want my own studio space. Currently I have not taught a class. I've been certified since July. Business went live in August,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't taught, but it's okay. I know
Ain't
what
nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong. I'm letting it be. I'm trying to work out a schedule because I am a full-time therapist. So I'm trying to work around my schedule and also still have a personal life.
The juggle, the constant juggle.
The constant struggle. Um, I want my own studio space where I can teach. I On my website I have individual, I have group, both for traditional yoga, hatha yoga, and trauma yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I want to offer couples. I do
Nice.
set up, offer couples, and then still provide free community yoga as well. So free class. And I think that's all I offer. Maybe one day I'll dabble in the kids yoga.
I keep saying the same thing too, and I ain't been there. I don't know if it's nervousness or I just feel like I need more experience and more. I don't know, maybe I need to mentor with someone or find a mentor that is good at it and just like watch them for a while because it's different with
It is.
kids.
and I've tried it because I have like yoga dice in my office, and the kids will roll it, and then I'll model it. But the way I speak like I'm teaching to an adult, and I have to find a way to talk to kids.
It's the same problem I have.
I can talk to kids outside of yoga in a kid age appropriate way, but when it
Hmm.
comes to like teaching yoga in a kid understandable way,
Yeah. It's like, exactly. Because it's like, my issue is I don't want to, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to baby talk them,
yeah.
but I don't want to overwhelm them with the words. Like finding that safe space between age appropriate and then understanding what else I should say that could get them to understand the concepts without, is it patronizing?
Yeah.
Yeah, patronizing them. I
I
think
can
that's the
teach the
word.
breathing technique,
Yeah.
no issue. Asana, nah.
Yeah. Because
I
I
can
had
teach
one
belly breathing.
that's
No
that, but they know how to breathe. So it's like it's real easy to tell someone the different ways that they can, practice any breathing techniques. But when it comes to moving their body into these positions that are can be uncomfortable sometimes, it's like how can I safely do this and age appropriately do this and all these other things. I think I just get too heady about it.
I I'm an overthinker, and I'm a overthink it.
We on the train together. I'm with I'm with that same team.
I'm not
Oh my god. Yeah, I overthink it way too much. But I don't know. One day I will get there. And I think it's also just my lack of opportunity to teach to children. I haven't ever come across an actual opportunity to practice being able to teach to children on a frequent basis to the point where it's something I feel more comfortable with. I'm thinking the last time I ever taught a kid was by accident. I was hired on by a family, but technically I was hired on by one person, but he was like, my family may join in here and there, but you're my private yoga instructor. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then one day he didn't show, but his niece did, and I'm like, okay, so I'm teaching Nisiku, and she was what, like 12, so it was a little bit easier. But no, she was not 12. She was 10. Either way, still within a decent a couple of years age
right.
range there. But like, thankfully, she had already done yoga before. So it wasn't like I was her very first experience with yoga. So I'm like, thank goodness, because like we had fun, but it was just like it was intimidating for me because it was like, have you had any experiences with teaching kids yet?
Outside of the office, no. And also, I learned I prefer older kids. I teenagers, please.
Yeah.
After working in the hospital, and working with like 3 to 7, 8 kids on one unit together, I can't handle that many in that age group together. So give me the teenagers.
Yeah.
I can't do the little bitties with too many. I can do one to two at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Any more than that, no. No, thank you.
Yeah, it is definitely a skill, and I applaud anyone that specializes in kids yoga. You guys have a gift that, oh, yeah, and you're needed. These kids need that stuff
Yes,
so bad, and that's why I'm like, I want to teach it because I would love to get kids to start young.
I would love it. I want to teach in high school. I want to go to high schools, and instead of you getting detention or sent to the principal's office, you get sent to me and we do some yoga and meditation and
Yes.
so
I like the way you think. Yes. That is a dope ass idea. I think there's a school that does something similar.
I
And
saw
I can't.
with the little kids though.
Yeah, I think it was in elementary school. Yeah, and I'm like, why don't they do that with the older kids?
A lot of my like younger kids that I see, they're like, "Oh, my teacher has a calm down corner and it has fidgets and this and that, and I can just go sit in the corner on a beanbag." What about the high schoolers?
Too busy trying to prepare them to be tiny adults.
Yeah, no, they need to be
Yeah.
taught how to emotionally regulate too.
Yeah. Especially because at that point they didn't get what the elementary kids that you just described are getting now. Likely it's something that was implemented after they passed that phase.
Yep.
So they don't get those experiences. So then when do they? And then they end up growing up like half the rest of us, emotionally unadjusted and and struggling through all of our interpersonal relationships with others and the intra relationship itself.
And have to go back and heal the inner child. Too
Mm-hmm.
much.
Because the way I don't even know if my healing my inner child journey will ever end because it seems like every phase I'm in, something new pops up that I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize that happened.
Man, I'd be like, okay, new re- new revelation.
I was like, all right, let me journal that real quick.
Oh, here's another one.
Man, it's like I was doing good for a second, and something else done popped up. But it was like I was saying to somebody else, like these things just come, or at least they either come to you or come back to you when you're prepared to handle it. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's a sign of growth.
Yeah, I guess I'm in a place to handle all these revelations that I've had in the last 6 months.
But when you're in it, don't it feel like it's like you're not, but you know you're capable of coming out on the other side? I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a weird conundrum.
Can we pause for a second? Let me catch up. Let me breathe.
So let's see. What was the next question I was going to ask you? It was about your experience with your YTT. Um, what was your journey into selecting one, and then how did the entire process go for you? Like what kind of came up for you throughout it?
So I wanted online because I was working full time. I was also transitioning from working in the hospital to becoming a full time therapist because I just got my license in January, graduated last December, and so I was in like a big transitional period. Price was a huge one,
Yeah.
so the program I originally wanted for me to get my whole 200 hours, it was only like $5,000 to $6,000. And I was like, no,
Mm.
who got the price for that? Where am I get that money from? They offered scholarships, which I ended up going back to them to get trauma trained, which was before I got a scholarship, so I didn't have to pay like I think I only paid like $100.
Nice.
2 day live interactive, beautiful, eye opening. Revelations kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just this one Yoga Renew just kept popping up like ad after ad after ad, and it was like $300, 300 on sale, half off, and I was like, okay. So I think I was like, I had got my taxes back, and I was like, okay, I got extra money, I can do things. Bills are paid, and I was getting tacos with my friend. We like to take day trips just for food. So we drove down to Louisville just for tacos.
Oh, hell yeah.
Didn't tell none of my family I was coming in. Literally drove to the hospital
Just for the taco.
just for the tacos. And the tacos don't go well. Like these tacos, you have to have a cherry Pepsi, cold. cherry Pepsi to go with it. It doesn't go. It's just
Mhm.
something about those tacos and the cherry Pepsi that just hit. And so we was like, okay, let's do it. So we drove down there, and I was talking to her. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to do this yoga teacher training. I don't know. Should I do it? Because I be second guessing myself, and I be needing somebody else to be like, just do it. And so she was
Look.
my just do it person. And so I did it. I was like, okay, I paid for it. It's all online. I didn't have to do any live like attendance, but they did have like um if you needed to pop in for questions or more information live, but everything always happened when I was working. So it was like I couldn't do it anyways.
Yeah.
And because what is that place called? Yoga Alliance, because of COVID, was not requiring any like in person
Oh,
online
yeah.
things until recently I was able to like do it. So I think that was like April, early April that I signed up, and I took my notes, I reviewed it. Each section had like quizzes at the end. And then there was our overall final, and I had to observe 8 classes, which I did all online, YouTube videos. It had to have people in the background so you can
Hmm.
actually see the teacher talking to people and helping with adjusting and things like that. And then I had to write 8 sequences, and that took me the longest because I was like, I don't know what, like, is this even making sense? Am I using this word too much? I finished, I think my goal was to be done by July.
Hmm.
So I did it. I was done by July, certified the first week. I think right after 4th of July, I got certified. My certification came in because they have to review your sequences and give you feedback and things like that.
Hmm.
And there's a Facebook page, so I was able to ask questions on the Facebook page and bounce ideas off of people, like send it to people to review for me. And I got like different reviews, and then I was like, okay, no, you have to be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
How would you explain this to someone in simple terms without making it difficult? How would you want someone to explain it to you? So
Yes.
I did it that way. And then like because my sequences repeated poses, copy and paste was my best friend.
Oh, yes.
Um it was a journey. I still have access to all of it, so if I even ever need to go back and review or get an understanding or retrain myself, I have lifetime access to it.
Nice.
So that was my YTT training.
That sounds thorough as fuck. Like what you said about the sequencing, though,
Ate
even to this day, because I will make a sequence and look at it and be like, this is what?
it. Hmm.
Huh? And even like in the moment of cueing, words will come out of my mouth and I have to stop and then be like, none of that made sense
Yes.
at all. And it's just a constant like checking yourself and also like testing the things that you're doing with yourself to even see how it feels. So
Yes.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that because it's a struggle for all of us. If sequencing comes naturally to you, I would love to talk to you more because it took a long time for me to get to a point where I felt comfortable. But I did my training that was like hatha based, but also ashtanga based. So that's a set sequence. So it was easier for me to learn that set sequence rather than trying to come up with other things. Then I would also be like, okay, so if this is what works for Ashtanga, maybe I can model things after that, almost like a template kind of a
Yeah.
thing,
So
but like remix it. Yeah.
oh, I didn't realize that. So they gave us like examples of hatha and vinyasa flows.
Mm-hmm.
without the cues. It's just like pose, pose, pose
Yeah.
to this. And I didn't realize I could take that and just put cues to it and timing to it. Didn't know that.
Yep.
So my so the very first sequence I did, I came up from the top of my head. Took me hours to do, and it was the most difficult thing. And then I saw on Facebook, oh, you know those 50 examples they gave you, 25 hatha, 25 vinyasa? You can use those and write the cues for it and how many breaths you would hold or how many minutes you would hold. This is your
Look.
intro. I was like, where was this when I made the first one? The other seven came from what they provided.
Yeah. I love having a template on hand because, like, to your point, you can give the same sequence to six different instructors, and you are going to have six completely different classes.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that the poses are the same. It's the delivery and their energy and their je ne sais quoi, whatever you want to call it, that they're putting into it. Because that's the magic of taking a yoga class.
Man, and all my stuff is connected to the breath. So you're gonna exhale here and move your body here.
Yeah.
Inhale here and move your body there. So it was, it was and there's like they have rounds. So like round one is maybe just one or two poses, and then round two is those first two poses with a new pose added in. Round three adds in more while repeating
Mm-hmm.
what you did before. And so I was like, is this becoming too repetitive? But then I'm like, no, because I don't have to give as many cues. I can just say pose name and you know what to do. That
Mm-hmm.
makes me, it makes it easier for you, makes it easier for me. Uh, I'm
Oh
also,
yeah.
I'm not touching you in your class. If you, I can use my words to adjust you. If you want me to physically adjust you, fine, let me know. But from a trauma standpoint, I don't touch me without my permission.
Look, same. And it's not even about their trauma all the time. It's about my own too. I don't
That
necessarily
too,
like to touch people.
at all.
So I very seldomly offer assists. And if I do feel like it's a day where I am okay with providing assists, I have these little tokens that I use so that people can tell me if they're okay with touch or not. Because I have ADHD and I can't remember shit. So, like, you can tell me at the beginning of class, I'm okay with a hands on assistant. I will forget in those 2 minutes where I needed to go see what was going on with this other student.
I might have ADHD, who knows? But PTSD mimics ADHD. So
Yeah.
that's where my brain is. I'm doing 17 things. I am filtering out everything that's going around me because I need to make sure there's no danger going on. So
So many things to think about. And I want to be able to provide a safe and exactly a safe and inclusive space where I'm not traumatizing somebody else unintentionally because I've been so focused on trying to make sure that I'm curating a good space for people to do their thing. And I've unintentionally done something that totally slipped my mind because of all these other things that I'm thinking about. So I keep telling people, like, being a yoga teacher is harder than you realize.
it is.
Yeah, because there you can tell when there's that little bit of judgment that someone will have when you tell them, "Oh, I'm a yoga instructor," and I'm like, "You don't know what goes into this.
Mm-mm.
Don't judge. So don't be so quick to judge, because
Think of me as like the yoga instructors you see in the gyms and at Pure Bar and all of that. That's not me.
not even that. It's the movies."
Them,
It's the movies and the TV shows. When I look back at some of the things that I used to watch as a kid, and they would talk about people going to yoga classes and they'd show the instructor doing this, I'm like, now knowing what I know and the experience that I have, I'm looking at it like, the hell is that?
why are you doing that?
Like, no wonder I stayed so far away from yoga, is because, like, what was that? Like, that's not what it is at all.
It's not.
So yeah, I blame media a lot for the judgments and stigma that a lot of us have on the practice, and especially in our community, because it's a notoriously white space
Hmm.
that they will reflect. And the sad part is, like, media shows it, but that's how it really is in real life too. Like, aside from what may happen within the class, like mimicking what's going on in media, what's consistent is the representation is not there for us.
Hmm.
So with it being something that's makes, well, let's be real, yoga will make you uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Yoga will make you uncomfortable. So to be in a space where you are, I won't say forced into uncomfortable things, but that's part of it, to find that, work through the discomfort to find the comfort. You don't want to do that in a space where you don't feel welcome.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
my big thing. I want everybody to feel welcome. You are welcome. That's it.
Well,
You're welcome.
yes, we'll get there one day. My vision is to have like so many of us all together in one space. But I know travel and all that isn't, so it's an accessibility thing. I want to travel different cities, different states, different places to just get so many people together that are like, I want it to be like a majority first timers that never done yoga before. It's like, we've got a whole conglomeration of Black folks here ready to do and experience this thing all at once for the first time, but then surrounded by people that have been practicing for this
Hmm.
additional support. Because I think we need that so much.
We do. We
Oh,
need it. It is not depicted anywhere. And then sometimes when it is, it's like you're competing. And I don't
yeah.
want to compete.
No,
To compete. I want to be
exactly.
kumbaya. I don't. I don't want to compete. It's not a. It's not
Exactly.
a. Oh, you got to pick me and not her. No, you can go to her one day and come to me the next day. We're two different people. We teach two different ways. I offer something she might not offer, and
I'm
then
so glad you said that. Oh, I am so glad you said that. Though you are still, because you said you haven't taught a class after
yeah.
your YTT,
Hmm.
what would you say your style is at this point in your journey?
Slow moving, focusing on the breath, developing awareness of what is going on in your body. What are you noticing? Is there pain? Is there tension? Are you tingling somewhere? Because sometimes in cactus pose, if my chest is tight, my fingertips are tingling because that
Really?
nerve. Oh, there's a physical therapy taught me this because I get tension migraines. Yay. Um, and so doing chest exercises at the gym, weightlifting and doing chest exercises triggers my tension migraine. And
Wow.
so one of the things my physical therapist at the time had me do was lay with my arms stretched out in a foam roller underneath my back
Uh-huh.
in the middle, like supporting my head and upper chest with my arms out. And I would hold it, and my fingertips would go numb and start tingling because that nerve is so tight. There's a nerve that runs all the way from like here, all the way to
You're
your
right.
finger. And I was so tight that after a minute of holding, because she would make me hold it for 3 minutes. And after a minute of holding, even now my fingers are starting to go because I did chest at the gym yesterday, and so cactus pose,
Hmm.
fingers tingling. But I know I need it because I need to
Yeah.
loosen that nerve up. Because if not, upper back, neck, tight, migraine. There it is.
Yep. That brought up something that I also realized is something that yoga has taught me. That awareness of what's going on in the body. Um, we tend to run from those sensations. So, like, if this action's bringing me a certain sensation that's unpleasant, stop it.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like, but that's honestly what you needed to do
what you
in
need.
order to not have the tingle anymore. But you still have to find that balance mindfully to be able to safely do the motion without it maybe having everything go numb or something like that, or at least exacerbating the pain. But it's something that's necessary, not something that needs to be run away from.
Yes,
Thank you for bringing that up.
I really learned that in my trauma yoga training. There was
Mm-hmm.
a book we read. I didn't even finish it. What is it? An unspoken words. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gonna bother me until I know.
You're gonna have to tell me later so I can put it in the show notes.
I think it's in unspoken words, and I don't remember who the author is, but he talks about um he was hit by a car, and
Ooh.
you know how your body goes into shock after a
Oh,
trauma, and you're shaking.
yeah.
It After doing years of work on himself and getting that deep self awareness, he recognized his body going into that shaking, and um he said there was an off-duty paramedic and a pediatrician. The off-duty paramedic immediately comes over because he didn't realize he had been hit. He didn't know. He was very much unaware. And so the paramedic's like, "Don't move. Keep your head still." He's like, once he was able to like think clearly, he was like, "Bro, back up. I need you away from me because you're doing too much right now. Back up." He said the pediatrician came over, just held his hand, sat there quietly, didn't offer any words. He said that's exactly what I needed because that gave me a chance to take inventory of what
Yeah.
was going on. He said he allowed his body to do what it naturally does in fight or flight instead of like cutting it off.
Yes.
And so uh his heart rate was like in the 170 when the off duty paramedic took it. When the ambulance arrived, it was in the 150s.
Wow.
When he got in the ambulance and he was on a ride to the hospital, he they took it again and he asked what it was. And it had dropped all the way down to 50. And he was like, that's because I allowed my body, by taking inventory, noticing the sensations, recognizing how, even though I don't remember being hit, my arm went out to protect my head against the windshield. My arms went down to protect myself against the ground. So I
Mm.
didn't hit my head on the concrete either when I bounced off the car. He was like, once I took that self inventory and noticed like where the pain was, what sensations I was feeling,
Mm-hmm.
I allowed my body to do its natural process of fight or flight. And he looked at the paramedic and was like, I'm not going to get PTSD from this
Yeah.
because I let my body do what it does. And in the hospitals, if you come in with a trauma and you're shaking, their instinct is, oh, blanket, medicine, slow the heart rate. No, let the
Let the
body
body
do its
heal.
job.
Yeah, it's capable of that.
It's capable. Sometimes you need to
Yes.
intervene, but sometimes the body can do what it needs to do. And he learned this because wounded animals shake when
Yeah,
they're scared. And if they allow themselves to shake and nothing intervenes, they bounce back like it's nothing. And then they
exactly.
become more vigilant about what is going on and paying attention to more.
Right.
Let your
That's one.
body.
That's one hell of a story.
I
I,
have to finish the book.
yeah. Was he able to have a full recovery from that?
Yeah, full recovery.
That's good. That's
And
good.
he
Mm.
teaches people to let their body do what it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't know. I'm wondering where that notion even came from to just ignore the things that are going on, or at least avoid the things that are going on. Because you're right. It's not just a physical thing either. It's mental too. Because
Mm-hmm.
when we experience certain traumas that may or may not happen physically, we still pack it down.
Yeah.
What is it? Regression? Yeah. Is
Mm-hmm.
that the right term? Yeah.
Oh,
Or no, that's not the right word. Repression. Thank you. Repression. I got my alphabet.
Hold on. No, repression is involuntary. Suppression is voluntary.
Thank you. Yes, and it was still just a matter of a few.
You know this.
I'm on this track. I'm on this track. I just want to run. And they're so close to each other in the alphabet, too.
The suppression run together.
Man, English. But yes, suppression happens in so many ways where it's not just mental things that you're suppressing, it's physical stuff too. And yoga ruffles those feathers. Yes.
Ruffles them all.
But it's necessary in order for the growth.
Yes.
Mm,
If something comes up, journal afterwards.
exactly. Like find your way to process. Like it's your path. Figure out what works for you. You don't have to do what you see everybody else doing. Find what works for you. Like if you notice that yoga may not be your thing, there are other movement modalities that have been inspired by yoga that still have the same effects.
Yeah.
But it's all about intention.
Set the intention, follow through on it. Stand 10 toes down.
Mm, exactly. I hate that we are so close to our time being over with each other. And it makes me mad every time I look at that clock. I'm like, really? Damn.
Having fun.
I know, but I want to make sure that I get this last question in before we wrap up. I ask this to everyone, and I love asking this to new instructors so that you can provide the the, the type of support that new instructors look for. So the question is what advice would you give to those that are just starting out on their teaching journey?
Oh, don't rush the process. Enjoy it. Figure out what works for you. Your audience will come when it comes. That is a hard revelation I am coming to terms with. Um, so yeah, don't force nothing. If people really wanted to do it, they would do it. You always got those people that say, "Oh, when you're ready, I'ma sign up. I'ma do it." Actions speak louder for me. So
Yes.
I pay attention to actions more than I pay attention to words. So whenever I get that notification that someone signed up, okay, we on. Until then, I am not going. Don't stress yourself about it.
Yeah.
Continue your own practice. And I think my biggest thing was I got away from my own practice, trying to focus so much on teaching other people. How can I teach and I can't, if I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, how, like, that's hypocritical. So I have to come
Mhm.
back to my own practice.
Exactly. Ooh, those are great gems. Thank you so much for that. The second part of that question is advice you would give instead of to a new instructor, a new practitioner, someone that's just about to start yoga and still not quite sure. What advice would you give to them?
Take it slow. You don't have to do the first 30 minutes. Just start off with just five. One pose. Find what feels good to you. Dibble and dabble. Don't let nobody tell you that you doing yoga wrong because there's no wrong way to do it.
Say that. Yes.
A motto that I kept hearing from my trauma training is as long as you're intentionally breathing, you are doing yoga.
I say that all the time. Oh my gosh. I love that. That's coming full circle. And I'm not leading people astray.
So
Yes.
it's all about intention and finding you because that's what yoga is. Yoga is about you and what the next person is doing, you may not be able to do, and that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the
Wonderful
jealousy
advice.
off the mat.
Ooh,
Mind your mat.
so funny that you said that because the season finale episode of
Mhm.
last season, she started a collective called Mind Your Map for that same reason. It's like You may be intimidated to start, but if you mind what's going on in your mat, you're golden. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. This is you and your practice. Thank you. And they are on their own life journey, yoga journey, all that stuff. They're on their own path. You follow yours, or blaze a new one.
Right.
Something. Like, don't worry about them. They're probably going down a path that'll lead you to destruction, and destruction is not what we're all about. We want everyone to find their own path to their own joy and contentment. Do what you need to do for you.
And if you feel like you made a wrong turn, there's no such a thing as a wrong turn, because it's just a learning lesson.
Yep. You can always, like I said, find another route. There's always a way to get to the right spot. Always a way.
You're not at a fork in the road where you got to pick or choose. Maybe you chose this way and then circle back around to the other way.
Or even still, maybe what path you went down was not the right time for you. It's okay to turn back and go back home for a minute.
Yeah.
It's okay to go back home for a minute and then revisit. It's okay. I love these metaphors. Like, let's speak in all metaphors here. I love it.
Hopefully they all catch on.
Right. Like, I know I'll be speaking another language that's not even outside of English. It's just my own. I don't know. So I appreciate when someone's around that can pick up what I'm dropping. I appreciate it.
Whatever comes to mind, I'm like, okay, let's roll with it. I have no filter.
Oh my goodness. So Shanyce, this has been super, super, super fun. Do you have anything that you would like to plug at this time?
Yeah, we can plug my journal. Go cop a copy. It's self-published, so you can get it either on my website at www.healyogiyoga.com or on Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
It does take about 2 weeks because each journal is printed right then, right there.
Nice.
If you don't want to wait the full 2 weeks for the copy to come in the mail, you can also copy the e-journal. Get a PDF version of it.
Nice.
So it's called Balance Your 7 Chakras. All about balancing, learning how to balance your energy. Yeah, I'm still working on classes. They're coming. I don't know when. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have like a schedule worked out.
Oh yeah, and let me know when you do so I can post it.
I will. And right now, since I don't have a studio space, all my classes are online. So you don't even have to go nowhere. You don't have to drive. You don't have to leave your house. Everything will be online. I may even just start recording and doing voiceovers and selling those. I don't know. I have so many ideas going on.
Is that how it goes? Like the idea factory is always open, but it's like the execution factory is the one that got certain hours. Like we clock out at 5. That's it.
Cause I gotta find a space to sit and record like multiple ones back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And the time to do that. Cause yoga can be draining for me sometimes.
Yes. So finding that balance for you, and that's actually another good piece of advice for new yoga instructors. If you feel like you are getting overwhelmed, pause. Pause and practice. Breathe it out. There is no timeline for any of this stuff. It will come when it's supposed to.
When it's supposed to. Take a step back.
Yes.
I ain't doing this today. I'll worry about it another day.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I'm even stalling so quit so I can honor your time. I truly, truly appreciate your energy and for being a part of this. It means so much to me. Y'all be sure to follow her on all the socials. All of the information for Shanyce will be in the show notes. If you want to find any other information, come to the Instagram page, Yoga in Black or Yoga.in Black, or our website, yogainblack.com. But I'll tell you all that stuff in a second when I give you the outro. So thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you, Shanyce, for your time today. I truly appreciate
you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll be doing this again sometime, hopefully soon. Yes.
Wait.
Awesome. Well, y'all, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another awesome interview. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Yoga in Black podcast. What did you think of this episode? Leave us a comment or a rating on whichever platform you're listening or watching from today, right after you subscribe. Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at yoga.inblack, Facebook yoga-in-black, and TikTok yoga.in.black. Also, head to www.yogainblack.net for all your YIB needs. Next episode, I'll connect with Taja Oh So Fierce. New episodes air every Tuesday. And if you'd like to be on the show, fill out our waitlist form on the website. Be sure to click on Let's Talk from the menu. I can't thank you enough for all of your support. Really, this could not be done without you. Thanks for listening.